want you, in any way you want to explain it, that you, in fact, are not the Crow, but the character of the Crow is different from who you are, even though you're in the movie.
No, in fact, I am undead.
Yeah.
And I frequently go on killing rampages. And watch, I'll put this cigarette out on my chin and it won't even hurt me.
Now before we start off with today's video, I just want to say that as of 14th August, we have crossed 500 subscribers, and this would not have been possible without you guys. Your support was just too good, and also it's been exactly 1 month since we started off with this channel, and honestly I was a little too skeptical about it. I wasn't sure if it would grow this fast, but thanks to you guys, it's all possible. Now, enough with the fanfare and celebration, because now I want to talk about a very gloomy and grim movie, and this one's called folks, I'm going to be talking about 1994's the cult classic flick The Crow. The Crow stars Brandon Lee as Eric Draven, aka The Crow, and Lee is the son of the famous Bruce Lee. As far as geeks are concerned, Bruce Lee has also starred in the Green Hornet TV series, as well as the Dragon series, Enter the Dragon, We Are the Dragon, and he's also been based on or ripped off by several video game franchises, such as your Tekken, Martial Law, and Liu Kang in Mortal Kombat. This was gonna be Brandon Lee's breakout film, but tragically he passed away during the shooting of the movie. The movie is based on the comic book of the same name by James O'Barr. Sadly, this comic book again is rooted in tragedy, as the death of James's girlfriend inspired his run. And if you're into Sandman, you'll be surely into this graphic novel, as it has a very dark, grim and gothic feel to it. So I highly recommend everyone for this one.
Suddenly, I heard a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. What are you talking about? You heard me rapping, right?
To summarize the movie and the comic book, The Crow is basically about a resurrected lover out for revenge for his fiancée. The story is set in Detroit City. On Devil's Night, that is one night before Halloween, Eric Draven, who is a rock star, sees his fiancée Shelley Webster getting brutally assaulted by criminals. She succumbs to her injuries, sadly. When Eric tries to save her, he is shot and thrown off from the building. Now all these details are being watched by a crow. Later come to know that the Crow is an agent of justice and death. It resurrects Eric from his gravestone, and we see Eric making his way to his old apartment, the apartment where he used to live with Shelley. When he is finally there, he is suddenly overcome with lost memories and emotions. Understanding the injustice that was dealt with her, he dons a new identity and becomes the Crow. And along his journey, he reconciles with Sarah and is also helped by Sergeant Aldrich. Speaking about the acting bit, Rochelle Davis and Ernie Hudson do a great job in taking the story forward. Rochelle's character, Sarah, is perhaps the only remnant of Eric Draven's past. The bittersweet reunion between the two in the movie was truly heartfelt. Sergeant Aldrich is like the Jim Gordon to the Crow, constantly helping him through thick and thin and also providing the necessary comic relief, just like the 90s Joel Schumacher version of Jim Gordon. Michael Wincott does a terrific job as the antagonist Top Dollar, who is accompanied by his sister Micah, played by Bai Ling, and they have a somewhat weird relationship. Top Dollar here does feel like a threatening presence. He feels more like a satanic leader than a crime boss, and Michael Wincott effortlessly plays this part, especially with that deep voice and his overall Dracula-like presence. In short, no character in this movie feels like an afterthought.
It's all been done before, you see what I'm saying?
Crow is a dark, brooding action-adventure flick with themes of love, revenge and the afterlife, coupled with some dark humor. 90s inspired grunge meets alternative meets industrial rock meets grunge setting, very MTV inspired. And when I was watching the movie, I felt I was in a Marilyn Manson music video or a Korn music video. Even though this is a low budget flick, the visuals are awe-inspiring. I mean, Gotham City is tamed compared to what Detroit is. Detroit is riddled with crime, it's corrupt, there's usage of drugs everywhere, violent murders. I mean, no one should stay here, ever.
You killed them. On Halloween.
Yeah, okay. Halloween, yeah. Some dude, some bitch, whatever, man.
During the 90s, Grant Morrison famously stated that comic book movies were basically a copy-paste of the actual comic book. Hence, when you read the comic, The Crow, as well as when you watch the movie, you see that there are certain scenes which are exactly similar, including the gothic setting as well as the motley crew of villains. And in fact, their names are like really funny. I mean, there's one guy called T-Bone, Tintin, Funhouse, Funny Bones, I don't remember, yeah, but something on those lines. How can I talk about the movie if I don't talk about Brandon Lee? Brandon Lee's take on Eric Draven is absolutely mesmerizing. I mean, he completely dominates his presence on the screen. He's charismatic, he's funny, he is the complete package. So whenever he's the Crow, he demands your attention. It's like you can't look at anything else. In fact, his performance is just too good. And while watching this movie, I could see that why this movie is called a cult flick. And it's all because it's a one-man show.
I see you have made your decision. Now let's see you enforce it.
Oh, this is already boring the shit out of me. Kill him! That had to hurt.
Now, while watching this movie, two characters came to my mind, and that is Spawn and Ghost Rider. Now, all three of them are resurrected heroes. All three of them have gone through something that made them take a decision where they finally grasp their current moniker, or they have been chosen by a higher calling. And also, they have similar powers, that is, they have some kind of command over the death, and they have super strength, they have speed, they have near godlike powers. The fact that all three of them have died at some point is very, very hard to kill them. For example, the Crow. The Crow is generally a walking corpse. But then if you really, really want to hurt this character, you have to take the actual crow, keep it in some set, enclosed area, and then shoot the damn bird. That's how you hurt the crow.
You're gonna say I shouldn't be in a cemetery in the middle of the night, right?
Safest place in the world to be.
It's because everybody's dead. I knew you'd come here.
It's really late, Sarah.
Also, one thing regarding the similarities between Ghost Rider and the Crow. The Ghost Rider has a similar ability called pen and stare, where he stares into your opponent's eyes, and then all the bad and all the wrongdoing he has done, he turns it against the person. Whereas the Crow, he has something similar, but what he does is that he takes borrowed memories from other people and then turns it against them. As you can see that in the third act of the movie, where he takes the villain and he tells him that, okay, now have your 10 years worth of pain or something on those lines, and then he just puts his hands on his eyes, and then that guy, he gets so overcome by all that evil he had done prior, and then he just falls to his death. Same thing with Ghost Rider. You have seen Nicolas Cage do this several times. The Crow is accompanied by one more character called the Skull Cowboy. Now, the Skull Cowboy is actually his guide through his journey. He tells him what his purpose is, what he was resurrected for, and what are his duties that need to be conducted. So in the comic book, what happens is that after he finally gets justice for his lover, the Skull Cowboy now tells him that he is finally free. However, Eric states that no, I need to stay in the material world and not ascend to the spiritual world. Same thing with Johnny Blaze's character, and you can see that in the movie The Ghost Rider, where Mephisto, he looks at Nicolas Cage's character Johnny Blaze and he tells him that you finally completed your duty, so now you give me the curse back. And Nicolas Cage says, no, I'm gonna own this curse.
And I'm gonna use it against you. Whenever innocent blood is spilt, it'll be my father's blood. And you'll find me there. A spirit of vengeance. Fighting fire with fire.
Guys, like I stated, The Crow was Brandon Lee's final outing. However, the movie gained a cult status. It was critically lauded and commercially it did very well. In fact, while watching the movie and while doing research for the film, I realized that Brandon Lee was contracted for 2 more films, and due to his death, the movie plot had to be changed several times. Hence, those 2 sequels were kind of written off. And The Crow was such a massive mainstream success that even veteran wrestlers like Steve Borden, aka The Sting, completely changed his character in WCW. Now, The Crow also had a sequel, and it also had various spin-offs and TV series. However, all of them were commercially and critically panned. It never worked out because they were just a rip-off of the previous movie. So it completely failed, and due to this, the movie's future is always in question. I mean, the likes of Johnny Depp, Tom Hiddleston, then there is Jason Momoa, all have been linked to the project, but it just never came to fruition. It shows that what a solid catch and what a solid understanding Brandon Lee had of the character. I think I can say that although we always say that Robert Downey Jr. is considered the Iron Man and Hugh Jackman is considered the Wolverine, but for me, The Crow is Brandon Lee. He can't be replaced. He is the Crow. Alright guys, that's it for today. If you do like this video, hit us a like and do subscribe and do share. This is Ren, signing off.